Hey people, what's up? This is Robert Bassano. Planete Veritas. Don't forget, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. This is going to be a short video. And I'm going to prove something to everyone. Okay? And the proof is this. I can prove in this video the moon is not 258,000 plus miles from the surface of the earth. I'll say it again. I can prove the moon, our moon, is not 258,000 miles from the surface of the earth. Now, if you're looking at this particular photo, I obtained this photo directly from NASA's website. It is allegedly a photograph taken from the surface of the moon looking back at the earth. It is a photograph taken from NASA, taken by whoever from NASA, from the surface of the earth, from the surface of the moon looking at the earth, supposedly 258,000 plus miles from the surface of the earth. Now, you cannot identify any recognizable features, land masses of the earth. You can't even see all the earth. You can't. You can't tell where the beaches are, the shoreline, nothing. Mountains, anything. You just see clouds, which means you can't see the earth clearly from 258,000 miles if you're on the surface of the moon, right? Okay. So let's keep going through this. This is from NASA, 258,000 miles. There's another photo, NASA, 258,000 miles. You cannot see any recognizable land masses of the earth from 258,000 miles. Why they didn't bring a telephoto zoom lens camera, I don't know. But let's just say you're on the surface of the moon looking with your naked eye and you can't see any recognizable land masses. So, this is what NASA says. NASA says, okay, let's check this out here. The Earth's center minus the moon's center, okay, this is not the scale, 384,405 kilometers. It's about 258,000 miles, right? So, all of this data here, the axial tilt to orbit and the inclination, that's nonsense. Don't even pay attention to that. This is not a real Earth model. But we're going to go through some other data I'm going to show you so you can get, a visual in your mind of how this all relates, okay? Again, another photo supplied by NASA, courtesy of NASA, taken from the surface of the moon, looking at the Earth, 258,000 miles. Here goes that same illustration again, all right? Get this in your head. I don't care what you think the construct of the earth is, but just get this in your head, all right? This is what they say the distance of the moon is from the earth, okay? That's the official, that they want 7 billion people on the planet to believe this moon is 258,000 miles from the surface of the earth. I don't know what took this picture. I don't know what took this picture of this module over the surface of the moon looking back at the earth. Hell, the moon even looks flat. But this is the moon looking at the Earth. You can't recognize any land masses. Okay? That's NASA. Now, here is the moon. This is the moon. This is a photograph taken by a photographer who works for the European Southern Observatory in Chile at 8,218 feet above sea level. This was taken from the surface of the Earth, courtesy of the European Southern Observatory. These are the very large telescopes at Paranal in Chile. There are 4 telescopes that look at the nighttime sky. This is during a supermoon event. Supermoon. Okay? Supermoon. Now, you can actually recognize some of the surface features on the moon. This photo was taken a little bit less than 8,200 feet above sea level, right? Because these telescopes are at 8,200 feet above sea level, right? This photo was taken at a declination looking at a supermoon right behind the very large telescopes in Chile. Notice how clear you can see some of the features on the moon, even with this being a blood moon? Okay, so let's do a comparison. We can see the moon very clearly from the surface of the Earth, right? At 8, almost maybe 8,000 feet, right? Maybe this is a 200-foot declination where the photo was taken from. But according to NASA, this is a photo taken from the surface of the moon looking at the Earth. Moon, Earth. This is supposed to be a distance of 258,000 miles. So I ask you, based on comparison, does this look like the moon is 258,000 miles from the surface of the Earth? When you can see the features of the moon very clearly, the surface features of the moon, right? Surface features. But you can't recognize surface features of the Earth. Wow. Let's keep going. This is an interesting photo that I found. It shows 3 women bringing the moon up out of some fluid, lifting it up out of the water or some sort of fluid dynamic environment. Very interesting photo. Wow. This was a vintage NASA photo that I found. That looks like a very large moon model. Guess we need to build a very large moon model back in those days. Could the moon still be 258,000 miles? Let's find out. Wow. Interesting. Why would you need a model that big? For what? Here is a photo, courtesy again of NASA, taken from altitude by an STS mission. Here is the Earth, flat as can be, and here's the moon. Does the moon look 258,000 miles from the Earth? Here's another photo. Surface of the moon, just above the surface, looking at the Earth. And here's another NASA photo. STS mission, above the surface of the Earth, looking at the moon. Wow. Does that look like 258,000 miles? Does that look like the moon is 258,000 miles? This was Space Shuttle Discovery in 1998 took this photo. The Space Shuttle Discovery in 1998 took this photo. High altitude, high speed aircraft called the Space Shuttle took this photo flying around, and there's the moon. That's supposed to be 328,000 kilometers plus. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So here's a document I downloaded from NASA's website, nasa.gov. It is actually a document for school teachers, okay? School teachers. And this is what they are teaching your kids. Distance to the moon, to calculate the distance between scale models of Earth and Moon. Background. As long as people have looked at the moon, they have wondered how far away it is from Earth. The average distance to the moon is 382,500 kilometers. The distance varies because the moon travels around the Earth in an elliptical orbit. At perigee, the point at which the moon is closest to the Earth, the distance is approximately 360,000 kilometers. At apogee, the point at which the moon is furthest from the Earth, the distance is approximately 405,000. Okay, I'm okay with that. That's still a distance of over 220,000 miles, right? The distance from Earth to the moon for a given date can be obtained by asking a local planetarian staff. Students interested in astronomy may enjoy looking at the astronomical almanac. Wow. Okay. So, in this activity, students will use simple sports balls as scale models of the Earth. Now, this was for 4th to 12th graders. Okay? So, if you don't have a 12th grade education, I really hope 7 million people have at least a 4th grade education, because this document was shared with teachers who were teaching students, instructing students on the 4th grade level, all the way through the 12th grade. So there's 7 million people who don't have a 4th grade education, because they believe the moon is actually this distance, these distances from the Earth. That's what they believe, because that's what NASA has told them. Okay? So, let's look at the spherical ball scenario they give us. They're saying, okay, that the official basketball has a diameter of 24 centimeters. Okay? That's the model for the Earth. They're saying a tennis ball has a diameter of 6.9 centimeters. It's about a 27.27.25% of a basketball. Now, so you have a basketball and a tennis ball. The Earth is the basketball. The moon is the tennis ball. Now, if we are on the surface of the Earth, and let me go back to the photos. If we are on the surface of the Earth, okay, this is taken from the STS in 1998, the Discovery, right? If we are on the surface of the Earth, explain to me how the Earth is a basketball, but somehow the moon looks like either a really big tennis ball or a tennis ball that's really damn close. How about that? I'm going to take you even further. I'm going to show you an Earth view of the moon rising. And this, I'll even tell you what tools we use to view the moon at supposedly 258,000 miles away from the surface of the Earth. Stand by. This is the moon rising. Okay? Real time 2600 millimeter focal length lens. Okay? Using the telescope. Now, 2600 millimeters. Now, will I argue that maybe they didn't have 2600 millimeter super telephoto lenses back in 1969? No, I'm not going to argue that. But I want you to look at this video very clearly. Alright? You see a little bit of shimmy in there. And you're looking at a real-time video that was taken of the moon. This is your tennis ball. This video was shot from the surface of the earth. It is moot to even discuss where this photo was taken from, this video, but it was taken from the surface of the earth. This is the moon. Look at the features. Look at the clearly defined features of the moon. This is a moon supposedly 258,000 miles plus from the surface of the earth. This is a video taken from the surface of the earth with the moon, according to NASA, 382,000 plus kilometers from the surface of the earth. The moon. The photo we saw from NASA, taken from the surface of the moon looking at the earth, you can't define what the hell the earth looks like. Now, albeit they didn't use a 2600 millimeter focal length lens. You tell me how any idiot can continue to believe that the moon is 258,000 miles from the surface of the earth, and you can see clear as day the features of the moon by spending maybe $800 for a DSLR camera and maybe another $1,000, $2,000 for the super telephoto lens to get that. You tell me. Tell me. So the next video I'm going to show you happens to be someone who used a pair of binoculars to look at the moon. Binoculars. They were on the surface of the earth and they could see the features of the moon clearly with a pair of binoculars in 2009. Man, they had powerful binoculars in 1969, in the 70s, that the military used, that you could use to look at the moon. And you tell me how 7 million people, morons, idiots, sheep, zombies, can continue to believe that the moon is 258,000 plus miles from the surface of this earth. If you can see the moon from the surface of the earth with a pair of fucking binoculars, and you can see the features of it clearly, the impact craters, with a pair of binoculars in 2009, you tell me how in 1969, from the surface of the moon, you can't even make out any recognizable land masses of the earth standing on the surface of the fucking moon. The moon is not 258,000 miles from the surface of the earth. You cannot see the moon from the surface of the earth and make out its distinct features, impact craters, canyons. You can't do it with a pair of fucking binoculars if it's 258,000 miles away and it's the size of a fucking tennis ball.
if the Earth is a basketball and the moon is a tennis ball, and that tennis ball is 258,000 miles away, and again, we're just using that as a frame of reference, tell me how it is with a pair of binoculars, you can see all of the surface features of the moon standing on the Earth, but when you're standing on the surface of the moon, which every idiot believes is 258,000 miles away, if you stand on it, you can't see clearly the Earth. And the Earth is supposed to be the size of a basketball compared to standing on a tennis ball. Let's watch this video. This is with a pair of binoculars, people. A pair of binoculars. Binoculars. Give him a chance to focus in. This is supposed to be a moon that's 258,000 miles away. If you want to continue to believe that, you don't have a 4th grade education. Because the document NASA supplies to every school says the moon is 382,000 kilometers, or about 250,000 miles from the surface of the Earth. This guy used a pair of binoculars to look at the moon. A pair of binoculars. 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 12 by 80 binoculars. Look at that. A pair of fucking 12 by 80 binoculars. This guy can see the impact craters and features of the surface of the moon with a pair of fucking binoculars. Standing on the Earth. But the photo we see from NASA, taken from the surface of the Earth, from the surface of the moon, you can't make out any surface features of the Earth. But you all want to believe everything NASA puts out. That's what you want to believe. You want to believe this. This is what you want to believe. Because your government can't lie to you. You pay your taxes. They have to be held accountable. Well, guess what, people? Start holding them fucking accountable. If they can give you this clear, high-definition photo of this so-called module, it looks like it's been in a fucking car wreck, it's so fucking dented up. You don't know what took this photo, but you're looking at the Earth, and you can't make out the surface features. But if you're standing on the Earth, you could see all of this shit, all of these impact craters. Do you still want to believe the moon is this far away from the Earth? You're an idiot if you do. The moon is not 258,000 miles from the surface of the Earth. Not only is it not possible, it is the most idiotic thing to continue to believe. The moon is not 258,000 miles from the surface of the Earth. It's not even 1,000 miles from the surface of the Earth. This photo right here proves it. You can stand on the top of this mountaintop at 8,200 feet in Chile with a pair of binoculars and see the surface features of the moon clear as day. There you go. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And I proved, beyond a reasonable doubt, the moon is not 258,000 miles from the surface of the Earth. Not when you can use a pair of 12 by 80 binoculars to identify the surface features. Wake up, people. Setting the truth free from a lifetime of bondage. Peace out. Take care.